The word shocked is way overused. So I'll say I was surprised or taken aback the first time a client said to me, "I hate to shop." Now, this was years ago, and since then, I've heard it about a bajillion times. So today, I'd probably be more shocked if a client came to me and said, "Oh my gosh, I love going to the mall." And honestly, it makes sense. High achieving petites don't like wasting time and really don't like doing things that they don't think that they're good at. Now, back to the original client, after digging a bit deeper, she mentioned that she'd spent 3 hours that weekend in the dressing room at a department store that I won't mention, trying on clothes only to leave empty-handed, sweaty, hot, and frustrated. Now, my first thought was, of course you did. That store doesn't even carry petite clothes. And the second thought was, there is a huge puzzle piece missing for most short women, and that is understanding their proportion and how that translates into finding clothes that actually fit. And not just finding clothes, but finding them efficiently so it doesn't feel like a time-consuming, mind-numbing process that they have to endure simply so they don't leave the house naked. So by the end of this episode, you'll know exactly if you're a petite or a petite hybrid and where to shop to find clothes that actually fit. I don't know about you, but I think it's time to get this style party started. Welcome to Inside Petite Style, the only podcast created exclusively for women 5'3" and under. If you're tired of pants that drag on the ground, sleeves that swallow up your hands, and want a wardrobe that actually fits your height, flatters your body shape, and works for your real life, you are in the perfect place. I'm your host, Angela Foster, petite style coach and creator of the Spark Style Method. When you're ready, let's get this style party started. If you ask most people, they would say petite clothes are shorter, and they would be absolutely correct. And we also know you're more than just short. So with petite clothes, it isn't just about the length, it's about the overall proportion. Specifically, 8 measurements that are different between petite and regular sized clothes. And that's really the first shopping roadblock that we hit. And the reason why it's so confusing, because some short girls can buy regular size clothes and they fit, and why some petites can mix and match petite and regular size and be just fine. So the very first thing that you and I need to do is to figure out which of those proportions fits your body shape the best. In order to do that, we're going to break down those different measurements. So when it comes to tops, blouses, blazers, and sweaters, it goes without saying that the tops are shorter. Also, the shoulders are narrower, the sleeve length is shorter, the elbow allowance is higher so you can bend your arms, and the armholes are higher. Also, darts in blazers and fitted tops are going to be higher and often shorter, so they keep the shape. Now, does any of this sound like you? When you wear a regular size tops, the sleeves are too long, or the neckline is too low, or the shoulder seam actually lands on your bicep, or the armholes on a sleeveless blouse or dress are too low and show the side of your bra strap. Now, if you're nodding along and thinking, "Oh my gosh, yes, yes, yes," then petite tops will fit you best. As far as bottoms go, obviously the length of the pants or the dress and the skirt are shorter. Also, there's a couple of other important measurements to be aware of. The first one is the rise, and that's the measurement from the crotch of the pants to the top of the waistband. On petite sizes, that's going to be smaller. Also, the knee allowance is going to be higher so that you can bend your knees when you walk. Okay, so now does any of this sound familiar? Have you ever bought a pair of distressed jeans and the wear and tear at the knee actually hits you in the shin? Or you bought what you thought was a pair of mid-rise pants, however, the waistband hits your belly button. Or do maxi dresses drag on the floor? Or mini skirts actually hit closer to your knee? Okay, if you said yes to any of those, then petite bottoms will fit you best. Now that we have this information, we know that you fall into one of two categories. The first one is that you require petite size clothes on top and bottom both, making you a true petite. And you should shop exclusively with petite brands or stores that sell petite size clothes. Or you fall into the second category, which is a fancy petite hybrid, meaning that you require petite size clothes on the top and then regular on the bottom, or vice versa. Let's just pause here for a moment and think about how incredibly powerful this information is. I'm really hoping that there's like an epiphany that says, oh my gosh, now I know why those pants are always too long, or those tops are always too big, or whatever. And just imagine how knowing this about your sizing and your body shape is going to help you avoid oodles and oodles of hassle and unnecessary returns later on. Speaking of shopping, what are we going to do with all of this great information? The first thing is you're going to want to grab your copy of the Best Petite Boutiques. It's a directory of 50 plus brands and stores that I put together from shopping with my one-on-one clients, and they all design clothes specifically for petites. It's also broken down by career wear or casual and curvy. And then there's also a section for those hard to shop for necessities like bras for small boobs and shoes for small feet. You can get your copy at angelastylecoach.com/BPB for Best Petite Boutiques /. I'll also add the link in the show notes so you don't have to hunt it down. The next question I typically get from Petite Hybrid clients is, where am I supposed to shop for all these mixed and match clothes? Especially since one of the biggest mistakes we make is buying pieces versus outfits, which is a topic for a whole other episode. For our purposes today, though, when you need a matching 2 or 3 piece outfit, focus on stores that carry both petite and regular sizes. There's likely more brands that carry both than you might think. For example, Karen Millen, Banana Republic, although they have stopped carrying petite sizes in their stores and it's online only. Also, Ann Taylor, White House Black Market, Whistles, and there's a bunch more in the directory. There's also accessible luxury brands like Ralph Lauren, Me&M, which is one of my favorites, Lafayette 148, and again, more in your directory. When you're a petite hybrid, shopping at one of those brands that we just mentioned, it's important to know how to translate the sizes. So an 8 petite is going to be the most similar to a 6 regular, or a 12 regular is going to be the most similar to a 14 petite. Your closet will have different sizes, and that's okay. Don't let the random number throw you off. It's so much more important that the clothes actually fit. Now, you might be thinking, I'm just going to buy a regular size and have it altered. And that's, of course, an option. Plus, we have that great episode with Jennifer who tells us exactly what to say to our tailor so we get the results that we want. However, after working with oodles of petite clients, more times than not, the clothes that they intend to take in end up hanging in their closet, never to be worn. Plus, there's always that deal where sometimes you'll get it back and it's just not quite right and you're not happy with it. So it's so much easier just to find clothes that actually fit. All that to say, alterations should be our last resort, not our default. Now, I hesitate to even open up this can of worms. However, it does create confusion, and I want to help alleviate as much of that as possible. And that is non-petite brands that often fit. So, for example, British, European, especially Italian brands, while not like technically petite, they do run smaller than US brands and often fit short girls. So, for example, like Mage or Sandro, Max Mara. So what happens is we try a couple of their pieces and they work, and then we're confused as to what the sizing is. In fact, I have a client story, and this very thing happened. She went on a binge this summer with French Connection dresses, and they fit her beautifully, beautifully, until she received a white dress and tried it on, thought it fit until she went to wear it, and then she turned around, and then the scoop in the back was so low that it showed her bra strap. So just be cautious that yes, there are some European brands that will fit. And when we try them on, we just need to make sure to really check them out thoroughly from all angles so that if it's not going to work, we get to return it and we're not stuck with it in our closet. All right. Are you ready for a style challenge? And this one is super easy. So once you determine your sizing, are you petite on the top, the bottom, or both? And you've downloaded your copy of the Petite Boutique directory, take a look through the different brands and find the ones that really resonate with you. Then the next time you're looking for a specific item, go to those brands or stores first and just notice how much easier it is to shop with that information that you have in your back pocket. Then when you have a chance, pop on over to InsidePetiteStyle.com and let me know how the shopping went. And that, my friend, is a wrap. Thank you so much for hanging out, and I will see you next week. Thanks for tuning in to Inside Petite Style. When you're ready to create a wardrobe that fits your height, flatters your body shape, and makes getting dressed fun and easy, head over to InsidePetiteStyle.com and take my free Petite Style quiz. You'll get personalized tips and strategies made just for your proportion and your height. And hey, you know that girlfriend who's always rolling up her sleeves and hemming her pants? Share this episode with her. She needs to know she's not alone and that there are real solutions. See you next week. Until then, have fun and stay stylish.